that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. And welcome everybody, it's Dan, and I seem to be a little bit lopsided. Let me sort my camera out. There we go. No point in being lopsided, is there? There we go. Anyway, welcome to today's session. It's the Property Cash Flow Show, even though the header title doesn't say that, so I'm just going to update it because I always seem to forget these days. Property Cash Flow Show. There we go. That's much better. And welcome everybody. Anyway, welcome to the podcast show, and in today's session I want to talk about property sourcing, because obviously right now with the economy as it is and people looking for both to save money and to also to make money as a side hustle, property sourcing has definitely been something that's been on people's radars, and there's been a kind of a surge in property sourcers trying to get more information. And obviously we've got our own £27 property sourcing training, which is awesome, by the way. The number of emails that we get about that training course saying how amazing it is for the price, I mean, it's a significant amount. And if you look at the reviews, you can see that we probably need to update the more recent ones because there's a lot, and we just, you know, there's so many we kind of haven't had time or chance to actually update those. But when you're first starting out as a property sourcer, even with the training, it can be challenging. You know, the obstacles in your way sometimes seem unsurmountable at the beginning, and then when you've been doing it for a while, you're like, oh, I don't know really what I was afraid of. And I'm going to liken it to CrossFit, because I do a lot of CrossFit. And, you know, doing pull-ups, doing 20, 30, 40 pull-ups, like, there was a time 2.5 years ago when I couldn't do a single pull-up, maybe one or two, and, you know, technique was really bad and so on. Now, doing 20 or 30, I can do 15 pull-ups in one go, and then I'll go to 10, and then we'll go to 8 or 9. So, like, I can get through them, you know? But looking back 2.5 years ago, right at the very start of that journey, it was unsurmountable, it seemed. And there were other areas in my life where I've had that as well. And it's just, you know, you've got to get time spent in the saddle, time spent property sourcing, time spent lifting weights and doing pull-ups and CrossFit. Like, you've got to spend the time doing it. But I've got 4 things that are going to help you today as well. The first one right now is just to build your network. And this is so important. And, you know, one really good tip, by the way, on property sourcing if you're first starting out, most people get it the wrong way around. They find the deal first and then they try and sell it. And actually, you should be out in your network first, finding out what your network wants. And your network is really 3 types of people. The first type of person is somebody who's going to buy a deal from you, and you know exactly what sort of deal that is. It's a 2-bed, it's 100 grand, it needs £750 a month rent, it's in Leeds. This is, you know, they've got cash in the bank, or we've got a 70% loan to value, and the mortgage offer is already in place, a decision in principle as it's called. So you need all that in place, and so that's one aspect of your network that you should be building up, are people ready to buy deals. The second type of person that you should be building up your network with is people who've already got deals. Like, imagine going to a doctor and finding out that the doctor needs to buy a 2-bed house, terraced house, and so on, like we said before, and then you go to an investor, a sourcer who's already got that deal. Now, you have to be compliant before you do this, by the way, and the compliant, go and have a chat with one of our guys, the link's down below, for the compliance side of things. Really easy way of getting property sourcing compliant. But, like, you can get a deal, like, today and tomorrow, just by bringing these people together. So you're bringing someone who's ready to buy a deal, someone who's time poor, and you're bringing somebody who's already got a deal, and you're kind of the cement in the middle of these 2 bricks, not pricks, of these 2 people that you're bringing together, and you can sign an agreement, and you can get a proportion. It might be 25%, it might be 50%, depends on what you negotiate and what the deal is. But you can bring in a deal today just because of the network. For people that you already know in your mobile phone device, you'll probably have people who've got deals, and you've probably got people who want to buy deals, and all you got to do is bring people together. It's such an easy way of making money as a property sourcer. But you've got to build your network. And then the third type of network that you can be building, it's not really a network, this really comes down to leaflet drops and advertising and so on, is a person who actually wants to sell their house. So you've got to start building this network as quick as you can. When you start building your network, You know, I'm sure you've heard it. Your network is your net worth, blah, blah, blah. It's true. It has to be said. Life is a lot easier when you've got people that can have access to all these different things, just get it done for you. And then the next one then, really, is that you should really be learning about property sourcing, like everything you possibly can. You should be listening to all the podcasts, you should be doing all the training, and then not only about sourcing, but you should be fully compliant, and you should be learning everything about being compliant as well. If you can get yourself into that situation, because now you can speak like an expert. So when you're talking to people in your network, might be a property sourcer, and you're talking like you know what you're doing, that makes a massive difference from a confidence and a trust building aspect. If you can go to the doctor who's got no time but lots of money and he wants to buy a deal, and you actually sound like you know what you're doing because you've read all the books, you listen to podcasts, and you can talk the game, again, it builds confidence and trust that they are going to put in you so that they can get a deal across the line as well. It makes a massive, massive difference. And for some reason, people will go on a weekend training course and then that's it. I'm done. I know everything I need to know. Like, I've been in property it's the 26th year, and I am still learning about property. And also because we're in different cycles of property. This morning, for example, learning how stupid people are still. We'll talk about that a different time. But you know, even solicitors and estate agents and property sources and valuers, people who really should know what they're doing, sometimes don't know what they're doing. So you should be the font of all knowledge. You should be a person to rely on because you should be as knowledgeable as possible. And then a big one, which is never in any training courses, and actually we do cover it, I think, in my my £27 training course, because it's so important, the mindset aspect and this ability to maintain a positive self-image. You know, like, it's so easy for you to go, oh, I can't do this, you're not good enough, who do you think you are, you never amount to anything. You remember what your teacher said? You're useless, you're a waste of space, you're a dreamer. That's the one I used to get. Oh, you're just a dreamer. That's right, like, you're 100% correct. I am a dreamer, which is why we live in the Med, next to the sea. We had cheesecake at the local beach bar yesterday. You're 100% correct, I'm a dreamer. Dreams is where it all begins, folks. But then when you get past the dreams and you start taking action, you know, the reality comes and slaps you across the face, and sometimes that's really hard. The reality of the situation can be really, really challenging. And so maintaining this positive self-image is really challenging sometimes. Social media doesn't help, the news doesn't help, the riots don't help, the newspapers don't help, Elon Musk definitely doesn't help. And so you've got to build around you like a safe place of positivity. Podcasts that you find motivating. So, for example, I love listening to Grant Cardone still, even though I think he's a bit of an idiot sometimes. He's so inspirational, motivational, and he's very American, you know. But I like that, and I like his, whether you love him or hate him for who he is and what he does, he's so motivational. And so when I feel lazy and not getting shit done, I listen to him. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's in his 60s, muscular, works out, a lot of time for his family. You might not like his politics and the way that he sees the world, and his dedication to earning money is an interesting way of saying it, I guess. Some people might say greed or whatever, and I don't think it is greed. But I listen to him because I get certain things from Grant Cardone, like motivation. I get certain things from Gary Vee, like what do I get from Gary Vee? Again, motivation, it's just a different type of motivation. And I get stuff from different people. I get mindset motivation off Instagram, for example. If I want a reminder of how dumb people can be, I go on Twitter, for example. And by the way, you might go, well, why do you need a reminder of how dumb people are? Because I think I'm not dumb, and sometimes I need a reminder. No, Dan, actually, you're up there. You're just being lazy, so you need to listen to Grant Cardone. You put those together. Now I'm not dumb. Now I'm not lazy, and I can go out and get the work done, right? Because I want to make a difference in other people's lives. And so maintaining this positive self-image is really important. And that can be really challenging, especially with all the things that we've got going on in the world right now. It's just bonkers out there, isn't it? And then finally on this is just building your brand. And this comes down to really building your network as well. But you want to walk in a room and have people know who you are. Like, oh, if there's Dan there, I listen to his podcast. Or, oh, I've seen this guy on somebody else's podcast. Or, I saw him at the other event and I wanted to speak to him because he seemed very popular, which I am for some weird reason. Lots of people know me and come up to me. And I don't know these people, right? And Dan, nice to meet you. Wanted to speak to you. It's a bit weird, but you kind of get used to it after a while. But it's still a bit weird. But it's really nice as well, because now people already know who you are. They already are coming up to you to talk about something, but they already know they want to talk to you about because they already know who you are. And that's because of the personal brand that we've built over the last 20 odd years through initially Google SEO and then podcasting and then live streaming like this and Instagram and the little videos that we do in the car on the way to CrossFit, and then we chop those up into little shorter videos. Building your brand is really, really important because people come to me with deals. Like we had a deal that we did last year, and somebody came to me. I didn't buy it, we gave it on to somebody else, but we got a finder's fee for that particular deal. People came to me with a deal because they knew that I had contacts of people that would probably buy that deal, and that's exactly what happened. All that is, one, because we build the network, the three things that we said right at the start, and two, because we built the brand. People already know who we are. So look, if you are on a property sourcing journey, click the links down below. There's the £27 training course, and then there's the compliance that you absolutely 100% need. If you're going to be a property sourcer, you've got to be compliant. But I hope you find that useful, and we will catch up with you on the next one. Hope you have a wicked day. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.